All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Swain Baddie League. We're gonna hop into Game 2 here, which is gonna be Think Twice as Scrappy Affiliates.
All right,
going up against
ladies and gentlemen,
QBC.
to the Swain Baddie League.
I'll be casting Game 2 here, along with Failed Destiny. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fan-diddly-tastic. Hope everyone listening's doing quite as well.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's ready, as the first band's already coming out. We're
There we
seeing Syndra taken away by the TSA squad. Quick update. TSA is still undefeated. Gruden's QB camp is 1-3, so if we're going to continue our trend of the team above you beats you, then QBC stands no chance. However, QBC does play like Team Liquid. They do really well in scrims. Maybe they can finally pull it out today in game. So we'll see how it goes.
I think you might be referencing some earlier scrimmage results as well.
You know what? I might be. We didn't have camera. It's not a big deal. We fed our faces off.
Yeah,
but it's what we do.
Yeah, and I would agree. I mean, yeah, their record is pretty polar opposite to the match I witnessed a little bit earlier today, and so maybe it's just a struggle of putting that out onto the SBL stage. We were talking about a little bit, me, Swift, and UTech, about my wing, and really, Heck is out. Heck is.
Yeah.
Okay, Heck is banned, everybody. That first misban there, it's gonna be a Heck.
That band looked like it went through. They just didn't select it. I actually think QBC's problem is they get in their own heads, and everyone on the team is really confident and knows that they can do well. But when it comes down to it, if the game starts to go a little bit not their way, they just plan on how they fix things, and when things aren't going quite in their direction, they end up having a little bit of trouble catching back up and just easing those worries as the game develops. That aside, we see the Ivern and Lucian band coming out of TSA. The Hecarim, the red blotch on your screen, the Misfortune, and the Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz targeted at Blabour. He likely won't be able to play that champ. And the Misfortune band coming out, something that Bernie Sanders bot has played pretty religiously and had a lot of success on.
Yeah, I really appreciate those bands. I really don't want to see Hecarim on that MVP screen ever again. neither Renai Circulations Vel'Koz. It just seems like no-brainers at this point. But first pick overall, gonna be a Twitch, and you have to enlighten me on what this pick's all about.
So my question is Bernie Sanders bot just not super confident on any other champion, or is that just, hey, they picked Misfortune, we'll pick an 80 carry? They can't really counter that because, I mean, it's a 2v2 lane, so that doesn't really work unless you're going to pick something like Vayne. And then on the opposite side, we see the Shen and the Elise. Kiss Shot, if he is going top lane, is pretty well renowned for his Shen, and I would expect him to be able to give Sword and Mace, who's likely going to get the Swain, a run for his money top lane. He's pretty beastly up there. However, we've seen Sword and Mace do really well on Swain, coming up with the Leona pick for the support. So the mid and the jungle, maybe, still open, if that's a Swain comfort pick for Sword and Mace. Something we haven't seen in a while, Elise. Any thoughts?
Well, I'm glad my wing's bringing it out. This has always been one of his best jungle picks, pretty much bar none, and it's a champ that he can get real active on in the early game and snowball these lanes. He has a very, very good mid laner, and I really hope my wing and Darth Evo are working on their jungle mid synergy, because they are a force to be reckoned with. They're both veteran players and both very good when they're firing on all cylinders. But sometimes, as you said and as I said, QBC has shown struggles in the match times.
And so far, we've seen a lot of CC come out of both of these teams. Swain's got a root and a slow, Shen taunt, Elise snare, which lasts forever, mind you, as I experienced that in a scrimmage against this team earlier today. And then the Nami, she speeds up her allies and slows down her enemies or knocks them up. So, talk about wrecked
Yeah.
from QBC side. If they can use that CC to their ultimate ability, or the utmost ability, they should do fine. And then two more target bans against Blabur. We see the Talon and the Oriana come out. Very much team focused, team fighting champions. Talon a little bit more roam centric, but as we've seen, TSA likes to come down hard when it comes to team fighting. So just pushing them further back on comfort champions.
Yeah, and really interesting. 6 mid bans overall: Syndra, Cass, Victor, Vel'Koz, Talon, and Oriana. So I mean, both of these mid laners are very good, and both teams really looking to weaken those players respectively. The Vayne pick coming in for QBC against Twitch. This might be the most interesting bot lane so far this season.
Yeah, I'm curious. The Nami Vayne lane is very squishy. If Nami can keep her heal up, and she usually should be able to with getting Frost Fangs. However, if any one of them gets jumped on at all, they pretty much die. Level 6 is going to be very dangerous, so we probably can expect the Elise to roam down, and the Shen will counter any squishy dying on their team once he hits 6 as well, probably prior to the Leona and the Twitch. So that's either them picking ahead, understanding that they can pick Vayne into this comp, or just having overall the forethought of, hey, we'll just keep you guys alive, so don't worry about it. But Ziggs Nocturne. Ziggs again for Blabur.
Yeah, and I think they probably would have liked to get Ziggs on QBC as well, because both, like you said, both players, Renai Circulation and Darth Evo, have shown fantastic Ziggs performance. But yeah, it's going to be Ziggs for Renai Circulation. It's going to be the Ahri for Darth Evo. So I think it's a fairly balanced mid lane. Both the champions do things a little bit differently. Ziggs a much better wave clear and team fighter overall, but Ahri with the potential for some early kills and roaming. Do you think that plays well into QBC's lineup with this Vayne? It seems odd.
It seems a little awkward.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd want a little bit more wave clear. Elise Spider can do some wave clear. The Ahri can do some wave clear. Vayne is terrible, absolutely terrible at wave clear. So any initial picks or thoughts I have is, if QBC gets a little bit behind, it's just going to be really tough for them to be able to push against this TSA squad. They don't have a lot of poke besides Ziggs and a little bit of Swain. Nocturne doesn't really poke, but that Nocturne ult and that Ziggs ult are going to be almost global.
Yeah.
So at level 6, they can hit bottom or top lane without Ziggs even roaming down, and Nocturne, I mean, his isn't that large at level 6, but still going to come out of nowhere, and I feel like that's going to be dangerous for both of these teams.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah, I am just so scared for QBC's their carries this game. There's a lot of lockdown ability. Oh, not even lockdown, but just ways to get to the backline that's totally going to devastate them. QBC's win condition, though, looks like they're going for some kind of 1-3-1, surprisingly. I don't know
yes.
I don't know if we really see that today in the meta. I watch pro play, but you rarely see at least fully fledged 1-3-1s that they do in the draft. Usually it just works out better if they just team fight nowadays. But yeah, with the Shen and Vayne, I think this is a 1-3-1 composition. However, to go off what you said, they really need to get ahead. There's really no coming from behind on this QBC lineup, because if TSA gets in the driver's seat, the amount of poke potential and being able to catch people out on a long map, it's devastating.
Yeah, playing back on that, if they do a 4-1 with Shen, and then the Ahri and Elise can kind of play protect and catch around the Vayne and Nami, they might be able to put up pretty good siege potential, because TSA would have to respond with Swain, probably for the counter or the Ziggs against the Shen. So just taking one of those members away. But maybe QBC is going to play to their strength bot lane because Rasasquatch or Risquact, whatever, and Slimboozy going against Bernie Sanders bot and Reventoad, not necessarily known for their highest potential playability, usually relying on that Nocturne to be around if they're going to get ganked. Maybe they just get a sick lead bottom lane and snowball off of that because that's obviously some potential there.
Wait a minute. Oh, oh my God, is this happening? Am I getting juked right now? Are they? Do they know that I'm just not up to date on this kind of? Oh, okay, there we go.
Oh,
The
is it
thing
the last minute switch?
yeah, well, the thing is though, Ziggs is being played as an ADC in professional level games, folks. I've seen weirder shit, but yeah, the Twitch mid not gonna be the reality today.
Ziggs AD carry is hilariously fun. You're essentially
Yeah.
playing him as an AP carry bottom, which is multiple metas ago. That's like season 1 type of meta. Um, or at least playing him with an AP carry with a support. But the fact that he just does so well, and a lot of your team, if he does do that, you can have an AD mid, and he just takes towers so well. And if you got an AD mid, they take towers really well usually too. So there's a lot of potential with Ziggs AD carry. Regardless, he's not in the game. Blabor's done really well on Ziggs lately. So is Darth Evo. So like you said, probably a takeaway. Um, Level 1, do you think we can expect anything out of either of these teams? Because Swain's got a root, Ziggs has got damage, Leona's got a stun, but then Shen's got a taunt, Elise with her cocoon, Ari with her charm. We might see an invade, and I would be very excited to see that.
I would too. I always cheer on teams invading at level 1. I think it's exciting. But I wouldn't imagine so. At least if I were these teams, if I was on either of these compositions, if I had a Vayne or a Twitch, I'd rather just stick to the laning phase. Well, actually, I don't know. Well, this bot lane. Okay, well, first off, I want to say this a while ago. Twitch first pick overall. What the fuck is that? Like, I mean, objectively, that's just terrible, right? There's just no way around that.
Well, they just don't want to show anything.
They show. What do you mean? They showed the Twitch. That's the thing that you pick, that you counter pick when you have the weak lane. Like if you're going up against a weak lane, like, okay, now I can pick Twitch safely and actually farm.
But in this meta, after Varus and Jhin, I don't know if Jhin received any nerfs, but Varus received some nerfs. I think picking an AD carry is, well, they can't really counter us because they see an AD carry, but they don't see a support, and then they're free to pick anything else. I'm a little surprised they didn't go for the Swain first pick, just because it was open. I don't know what other opportunities they really had, and I don't think Rasasquatch was going to try and take the Twitch away. I can actually check quick to see if he's been playing that a lot. Maybe it's a counter or a take
The Twitch
away.
pick?
Yeah, from
Yeah. You were saying it earlier in the draft that they took away Bernie Sanders' MF. Then what was next? Like, yeah, if you're checking his profile? Well, I'm curious to think that if he plays solo queue as an ADC, you had to have been at least like a month ago. You had to have been up to snuff on your Varus and on your Jhin, on your Ashe. You know, like those big meta utility picks that were so prevalent. But now those have all been sort of a thing of the past. Fervor of Battle, that was buffed in 7.4. That seems to have a pretty big impact. You see a lot more carry, like sort of just pure damage threats now from the ADC role.
So what I see, looking at OPGG, Rasasquatch just doesn't have it in his match history. Like, I went a bunch of champions down for his Season 7 play, and it's not even there. Bernie Sanders bot has 10 games, Season 7 on Twitch. 1.71 KD8, not the best, but it looks like the reason he's playing it, an hour ago, he played Twitch and he did well. He went 7-3 and 8. His previous game before that was 0-6-0, so hopefully he plays more like a 7-3-8 than a 0-6-0.
Oh my god. Okay, guys,
Yeah, so
that's
this is just completely out of nowhere.
Oh my god. Okay, I think we've all, if you've played in this league, if you've played in the Swing Batty League, we've all been there. We've all been, like, theorizing team comps, and one of the players comes to team chat that one day, like the team practice, they'd be like, yo, guys, I had this bonkers game on Twitch, man. Let me try that shit out. And then everyone, for some goddamn reason, just said, yeah, let's go with that. First pick overall.
And then they feed their faces off?
Yeah, like, what the oh, man.
So that team comp an hour ago is 90% the same. I say 90, it's really 60% the same. Renai Circulation had Ari instead of Ziggs, and then their support was a Alistar instead of a Leona, which, mind you, play very similarly. They're just very tanky and lots of CC. So that might be the overall idea, is they kind of want to just have lots of damage, lots of CC, and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Twitch in Leona is, I think, a good lane. Like, I mean, in solo queue, like that's a very good lane for locking down and getting that early cheese kill. Maybe if you fight for level 2 experience, but man, it just it seems risky. This team has been playing so well when they just play together as a team and sort of help out every lane and get to that mid game. Because I think if you ask any of these players from TSA, I think they would say that their team has the best team fighting in the league, and they're very confident in it. So really, it's just how do we get through this laning phase relatively unscathed, and then once we get to that team fighting zone, they just seem to dominate their opponents through and through. They're very decisive.
Going back to what you said about team fighting, if I were to ask you which champion is most like MF when she ults...
Okay, I got you now. I feel you.
I just realized that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That actually is a very valid point. That is, yeah, he's going to unload. He's going to stay in the shadows and unload. Once Swain and Leona take the brunt of the damage and lay down their CC, he's going to pop out of nowhere and hit him with that rat-a-tat-tat, I think it's called nowadays. Yep. Yeah. Oh, no, they renamed it back to Spray and Pray.
Oh, they did? I didn't know that.
Thank God.
I can click on him and check it out.
Yeah, no, it definitely
it's Spray and Pray.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Rito. That's good. But, oh, I mean, trivia for maybe some newer folks here in the SBL. Oh, man, this trade's going down big time. Vayne with that third auto proc and then the Nami auto on top of it nearly takes out Bernie Sanders' spot, but look at that discipline. Didn't blow any summoner there.
Yeah, he walked a little too far forward. If he walked farther back, he would have got knocked up by the Nami bubble and most likely would have died there. He's good to not have flashed or burned a heal, but at the same time, if Sasquatch had just landed one more auto, it would have been first blood at 2.5 minutes. Ooh, and we seen early gank top lane.
Yeah, Wang and Kishot really laying down the damage there. Double buffs from Wang. It's going to be a first blood for Wang. And we talked about this during that scrim game earlier. Wang just needs... This is what we believe. Our current hypothesis for Wang's performance is that he just needs the momentum. He needs that early first blood or something to really get under his skin and be like, yeah, we got this. And now I would expect Wang to have a really good game. That, as long as our hypothesis remains true here. But the Zenith Blade comes in on Sasquatch with the exhaust on top of it, but the return damage is going to come through the proc comes onto Reventoad. And yeah, damage is going to be carried out. Exhaust traded on both supports.
Yeah, I think where Sasquatch started auto-attacking a minion a little early there, he could have gotten more damage down on Leona to oppress this lane even further. We see a 10 CS lead in the advantage of Sasquatch. Going back top lane, my Wang is around for another gank. And this is exactly what I was expecting to happen. Kishot is gonna, I believe, outperform Sword and Mace top lane here. And if Wang can sit around and just continue to get these ganks off, it'll just do well. Sword and Mace burned both flash and teleport after that last gank.
Oh yeah, Wang, he flashes the never move, but misses the cocoon on the backside, but it doesn't matter. Sword and Mace, very vulnerable, no flash for him, and he's gonna just walk it out. Maybe waste a little bit more time, and actually going to donate that kill over to Wang. Definitely the smart move, I think. The tank top laner or the potential carry jungler, no-brainer at the end of the day. And Wang with a very good start here. But Master Splinter, he's in the bot lane. Blue buff ticking. The fear will not get procced onto Slim Boozy, but Sasquatch might be in a bad spot here. Uses that E to knock him away, and I think he's going to be able to outrun him, yeah. No one dies in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think this is a failure a little bit on the part of TSA. Master Splinter just likes to farm. And once he's comfortable to gank, that's when he ganks. My Wang is 10 CS behind Master Splinter, but already 2 successful ganks, 2 kills on Elise, who likes to buy items. She doesn't, or Shen doesn't really need items that much. She's just gonna likely build tanky. So extra gold that you get from kills isn't as important. And then when Master Splinter came in for those ganks, Slim Boozy got away with less than 50 health, and Vayne had about 100, 200, so maybe even less than that. Just not perfectly coordinated out of the side of TSA, maybe getting a little flustered from how the ganks have been going.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like they needed some kind of response there, so Splinter goes to the bot side of the map to put pressure down there, but even on a champion like Nocturne, he was only level 4, only had blue buff, so even red buff on Nocturne.
I think he did have red buff, and that's what almost killed Slim Boozy. He had to burn a couple pots to keep alive from the fallout of the red buff.
Okay, well, still, I guess a nice attempt there, but the percentage, you know, like when we talk about plays, like the percentage of the play and how likely it is to work, I think that's a pretty low percentage play.
Yeah.
Cancels the auto there on Slim Boozy's empowered E, so not able to get the slow onto Reventoad. Wang is sniffed out.
Kishot is also 6. Sword Mace doesn't have his TP up, so Andy's got his, or Kishot has his TP. So if we see an early move out of Kishot, likely going to get there earlier and be able to provide that shield for a teammate if they get low. I was expecting a 4-man gank bot lane while My Wang was sitting there, but yeah, they just played too far back for Bernie Sanders bot and Revan Toad, so nothing ended up happening.
Yeah, now Splinter, he's on the bottom side of the map. He has that Nocturne ult, and it goes on to Slim Boozy. There is no flash on him, but
I expect the Shen ult. Yep.
Yeah, there it is to save him. And yeah, TSA, I think they have to back off from the gank. The Shen teleport isn't completed, but the shield was in there for the aid. But now Wang, he's coming in from the side. Might be cut off by the mini wave. Yeah, nothing to get there.
Sword and Mace did his job there. He stopped the Shen TP with a snare.
Oh, nice. Very well. Honestly, I think that's better. I don't think he wanted to go down there anyway.
So he could stay in lane, not have to burn his TP and get the minion farm?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wants to soak up all this juicy farm and XP here. And
oh, Slim Boozy.
Yeah. Oh, Xenoblade Blade lands onto Sasquatch, stunned up now, and the return damage comes through. Yeah, Bernie Sanders bot can't stick in on the trade with Vayne for 3 hits, so he has to back out before that third one lands onto him. But Sasquatch extremely low now, has to use his final health potion, and yeah, they're gonna call it a day. Vayne, when you're that low and no sustain, you have to respect the jungler. And Master Splinter, he was waiting.
Yeah, he didn't have his ult quite up, so he would have had to walk into lane at that point. But still, just providing that pressure, and Sasquatch and Slim Boozy deciding to stick around as this wave would crash into their tower, and it's a wave and a half.
Yeah, so, and what's the level 6 looking like here for Evan Toady? Yeah, he's 3/4 of the way there. So once that Solar Flare is leveled up, then they have to really be safe on where they step.
Yeah, and then the spray and pray. Bernie Sanders bot is 6. They're both backing, maybe to prepare for this dragon. We haven't talked about it at all, but it is an air dragon. Both teams, I think, want or don't want this dragon pretty similarly. The only team I can say would want it a little bit more would be QBC, because Shen, just being able to split push, getting around faster while out of team fights, a little bit better.
He's in the top lane bush there, missing the cocoon, but that's okay. Damage is gonna come through, but Sword Mace, he goes into bird form. Will he walk it out? And Wang with the repel, able to finish it off, but it's gonna be a kill traded back. Shut down gold going over to Sword and Mace, so 1-for-1 trade. Oh, kiss shot. Yeah, has to flash
He
the fear there.
flashed.
He did. I don't know if both were necessary.
Yeah, I think he could have just taunted. I know that in the most recent patch, Nocturne's E does follow people if they don't get too far away. So he might have feared that he would have gotten feared, and with the 300 health that he would have had left, could have still died. I completely respect that flash. He's 0-0-3 at this point, so not a lot of gold on him.
Right. Yeah, and why let Master Splinter get a kill for free there? Keeping Master Splinter down, I think, is a very viable strategy against any of the teams he's played on at SBL.
Yes.
He really is that influential. Oh, Xenoblade lands on the Sambuzi. The poison did come through. Bernie Sanders' bot. Will he get off enough damage? But the Shen teleport now comes through the wave. They're going to ride it in. Revan Toad's going to get knocked up and taunted. Exhaust onto Sasquatch, but I don't think that is going to help anything. Flash comes through, but Darth Evo with the last shot there to pick up the kill, and Wang picking up the kill on Bernie Sanders' bot in the bottom lane. So 2 kills going over to QBC as they make a push onto the tier 1 bot.
That was a really dirty heal out of Slimbuzi. Ooh, we see the ult come through to try and push people away off of this tower. But the heal is the thing that actually brought Bernie Sanders' bot low enough for Wang to kill him. Otherwise, Wang wouldn't have been able to kill him. He might have died under tower. So Slimbuzi with a very heads-up play, getting that heal bounce to keep Wang up and brings Bernie Sanders' bot even lower.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, they're all of QBC. I think they're playing extremely well right now. Very tight mechanical play.
And the Swain teleporting bot cancels it?
Oh.
He took that tower and canceled it?
Oh boy. And their bot lane was right there. Wait, what is the tower? It's half health. Ah, it's at half health. All right. Well, you know, honestly, I have no idea what that was.
Yeah, I think you actually send Sword Mace bottom there and put your bottom lane top. Oh no, Dragon's still not up yet. Never mind. That's probably why it was canceled. Someone was probably said, "Oh, Dragon's still up. We don't want to do that quite yet, because then we just give over Dragon, which becomes more relevant late game."
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it would have made sense to rotate those lanes quite yet. I think they're still trying to utilize the Twitch Leona power to take out Sasquatch, but they're QBC, the duo lane specifically, they're manipulating the wave in such a way where they're always getting hits on it. They're not being zoned out at all. And I don't know is it really just Sasquatch and Slimbuzi playing this perfectly, or is this Bernie Sanders and Revan Toad not understanding their power? They really have to not let Vayne farm. That's the goal here.
Yeah, and being 85 CS at 13 minutes, not bad.
Not bad. I mean,
especially
it could
with all
be,
the fighting that's going on.
Yeah, it could be worse, but I mean, really, it should be as equal as Twitch here. But Sword Mace is gonna get caught out in his top lane bush. Yeah, Never Move comes through. Wang has to repel and dodge the damage. Oh my, look at this healing. The regen in the bird form, and now bot lane. Master Splinter with the gank. Solar Flare's gonna land onto both of them. Revan Toad picked up that first kill, and now Bernie Sanders picking up the kill on Sasquatch, and that's the type of combo they were looking for TSA.
And with that gold lead from the tower taken earlier, or the just general gold, they now have the gold lead. And if they take this next tower, that's going to propel them even further, regardless of having 2 more kills on the side of QBC.
Yeah, that's, I mean, surprising for how well the game has been going so far for QBC. By my Wang, he gets pushed out of his own jungle. His mid laner there is there to assist him, but he's going to go down regardless. Going to pick up the return kill onto Darth Evo. What an odd red invade there, but they knew he was doing it? Was it even warded?
It wasn't warded. I think he saw him walk over there.
Yeah. But they knew where Wang was. They take him out. Jungler's dead. Priority going over to Dragon, and TSA going to pick up that first Cloud Drake of the game. A little under 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But still the gold lead here for TSA.
Yeah, 1.5k after all said and done. The kills separated across. 2 on Ari, pretty good. 6 assists on Shen. Kishot's really taking off. And then 4 kills on Mai Wang. Mai Wang has the blue jungler item, so he's going for that additional magic damage. He's 40 CS behind Splinter.
Yeah, and that actually equates to 80 gold deficit. Splinter's actually 80 gold above. I mean, 80 gold pretty negligible for junglers, but I guess the farm versus gank style is balancing out here for both of these teams. Splinter in his own right, though, has been ganking. It's just that the 0-0-3 is, I guess, less successful than the 4-2-1 in terms of jungling. But yeah, this is still really anyone's game. I am gonna be optimistic for QBC's lineup here in a full 5v5. So far, they've gotten a majority of their kills in sort of skirmish and in ganks. It'll be interesting to see how they transition into a 5v5, because right now TSA, they are powering up, and it looks like they're getting a little more confident with their ability usage.
So if you had to call it right now, which team do you think is going to pull ahead? We've got the gank heavy style and the farm heavy style out of these teams.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I were a betting man, I'd put money on TSA just because they haven't lost a game so far. And I kind of like their team comp a little bit more as this game goes on, in terms of how easy it is to execute fights. But Vayne is Vayne. Vayne can really hard carry a game, but is this for Sasquatch's day? I guess we're gonna find out here. Darth Evil, he's gonna get locked up in the mid lane. Solar Flare not even needed.
Yeah,
Nocturne gonna take him out.
A little hyphy there, but fights everywhere. And then the top lane Sword and Mace soloing Kishot underling, or is it the other way around?
I'm not sure. Both these guys think that they can do a bunch of damage, which I guess they can in terms of tanks. That was surprising. And both there it is, mid tower, going over to TSA. So a 3-0 tower lead for them, extending their gold lead even further to 3K.
Yeah, I think if you're QBC, you accept the fights that you've taken, and the ganks that you've had. This kind of just enforces the idea that we had earlier during the draft phase of the 1-3-1 or 4-1, as the Shen is getting pretty beefy. He's sitting on 1,300 gold, so based on all the magic damage on the side of QBC, probably going to go for something like a Spirit Visage just to get tankier and be able to push against whoever is going to try and counter him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kishot is what will lead QBC into a victory.
Oof, that's, I mean, I kind of have to agree with that reality, but I don't think that's what you want with this team comp. I mean, when your 006 support tank is your hopes and dreams.
I was wrong. He didn't go Spirit Visage. If anyone else is watching, he went a Tiamat. So he wants to split push like a boss.
Yeah, Titanic Hydra, right? Yeah, or yeah. Interesting. Really just doubling down on the split push style here. Shen teleport comes into some boozy as he had to flash out of imminent danger. Solar Flare's gonna get dodged up. Wave comes through, lands onto a lot of members of TSA for Sasquatch. He uses the ult, he flashes in, he gets exhausted, but he's in there doing the damage. Double kill for Darth Evo and QBC. Potentially running away with that fight, but really, it's only a 3-for-2 in favor of QBC.
Yeah, Sword and Mace had his teleport, but no mana and half health meant he couldn't participate in that fight, even if he wanted to. And then QBC just went off. They're still 1.5k behind, but a bunch of kills and a bunch of items can now be bought on their side to be able to push this team into taking some turrets, which will give them the lead.
Yeah, that's really QBC's goal at this point, is they got to get some towers down and get back some map control here. Darth Evo going into the top lane, going to clear this out, and now they're rotating Kishot into the bottom lane as Shen. He has a teleport, no ultimate, but yeah, it's really just a matter of powering up Vayne and getting the right lane assignments and getting some mismatches and assignments and getting some towers down for QBC. Dragon's up in 40 seconds, gonna be Ocean Drake. How do you think that one plays out? Who really wants this one more?
Oh, I think both teams want that. A little bit more so on the side of TSA. Swain wants that mana and health regen back passively. He is just can stick around longer, and then Revan Toad wants it for casting more abilities and then just getting that health back while he's so tanky. The interesting thing from that last fight, 2 kills went over to Darth Evo, so Ari's gonna love those kills. Now 1k above Flavor on the Ziggs, and then a kill over to Vayne, putting him essentially at the same amount of gold as Bernie Sanders bot.
Oh, Master Splinter, he catches out Nami in a real bad spot and takes her out all by himself. Slimbuzi not really having a chance there. Doesn't use anything vital, so he still has, well, it doesn't even have flash up yet, but the Ocean Drake gonna go over to TSA here. They're QBC pretty zoned out of this one. Yeah, they're gonna give it up.
Yeah, my Wang wasn't even close to be able to contest with a smite if they wanted to. They do take the mid lane tower though, so when trades happen, I think you value an Ocean Drake over a turret that you would likely get eventually, but for the initial gold that they get, it helps counteract the gold lead on the side of TSA. But yeah, that was just heads up warding out of the side of TSA. Splinter's obviously going to love wards, so if he sees someone caught out, he can do exactly that.
Yeah, and there's, I mean, if we look at the minimap here, there are a ton of wards from both teams and around that river. So both teams really looking for a pick there, turning into a dragon. TSA, they came out the winner in that game.
Ooh, TSA rotating top.
Oh, completely catching QBC off guard. Yeah, and that's totally dead. And the question is, will they stick around here?
I don't know if they can. Even though Ziggs can take towers early, he doesn't have the amount of AP to really bounce it from a high percentage.
Flash drawn onto Bernie Sanders bot. That is exactly what they needed. Rasastro's going to actually pick up the last hit on that one, and he's low. He's by the wall. Shen teleport comes through, and now the wave hits all of the members of TSA. Master Splinter doing his best to try to keep this fight alive. Goes back in onto Slimbuzi, but won't pick up anything there. But meanwhile, Renai Circulation, double kill for him on the Zig, so a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, that was a really good flash taunt out of Kishot. What I think they wanted to do there is walk away as Sword and Mace's ult was going, wait for him to take it off, and then re-engage. Because they had the upper hand, they killed somebody, and then didn't have to continue fighting there. Yeah. But obviously, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah,
still, and I mean, a really good.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Master Splinter, honestly, when he hits the ult, how much damage is this ult doing? It's doing close to 500 damage just by clicking on somebody. And that means a lot. A lot of these squishy champions, Ari, Vayne, Nami, no resistance. So, I mean, these guys are getting hit with pretty much 500 damage straight up.
What's good out of Slimbuzi, though, is he saw the ult come out, exhausted Splinter. So that damage didn't go through. Splinter's target did not die. So he got some assists out of that team fight, but didn't propel him farther forward to continue trying to carry the game. He is 3-0-4, and he's now 1.2k above My Wang, who is 4-4-4 at this point. My Wang has gotten 3 assists and 3 deaths since the beginning of, or where he was at about 13 minutes into the game.
Yep, like you said, 4-1-1, I believe was his stat line at one point, and he was the first blood king this game, and yeah, he quite a downward turn, but really that's just elites in a nutshell. Really high power curve early on, but gets weaker as the game goes on and turns into mainly just a cocoon stun bot. But
yeah, we don't see the Vayne mid lane, and it looks like TSA wants to continue to push in. He doesn't provide a lot of wave clear, but you just want to be there as 5 if they do try and challenge a tower or the team.
Yeah, I suppose so. They're taking the chances, and they're basically saying to TSA with that move that we can counteract the tower dive. We feel confident that we can outplay you when you dive this tower for whatever reason. I would have liked to see him just stay in that bot lane and try to get a little bit more pressure down, but will the wave clear from Darth Evo's Ahri be enough?
Yeah, I think the Spiderling and the Static Shiv plus the Ari,
Oh yeah,
it
static
should
shift.
be
Yep.
enough.
Yeah, you're right. That should be enough. But
But if any one of them goes down, it drastically hurts the
yeah,
wave clearing potential of the QBC squad. Yeah, we've got another dragon in about 2 minutes. This one's another air drake. And we just kind of see everyone pushing out lanes, resetting the map. Probably going to pick up some more wards to drop down. There's quite a bit of wards around for both teams, mostly centered around this Baron pit. But
yeah.
yeah,
Reventoad and Renai circulation. They could have walked in for a flank there on the 4 members from QBC, but opting not to take that fight because it would have been teleport from Shen. So yeah, it would have turned into a 5v4. But
and it looks like Sasquatch wants to try and challenge Sword Mace.
yeah,
Oh.
but his team is coming. This is really dangerous. He's gonna dodge all the never move. The Zonius comes through. Flash is not gonna be enough. So the Zonius bait will do it. Good team coordination out of TSA to pick up the greedy play, and it'll be a tier 2 or bot tower for them as well as they keep the push going. Yeah, that's real rough. That hurts because it was a nice little mechanical effort out of a Sasquatch there. Surely if you didn't have Zonius on that Swain, it would have been a kill.
Yeah, he tumbled early to get the additional damage. Ooh. Oh, I don't know how that Zenith Blade missed Darth Evo there. Holy cow, it looked like it went right through him. I want to watch the replay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just barely outside of his range.
Ooh, yeah, that would have been a dead Ari and then most likely a gone mid tower as well for QBC here. But Darth Evo, he threw out the charm, blew the flash from Renai circulation, so that's pretty big here. They gotta put some priority on taking out Renai circulation, but Master Splinter, he's in the pixel brush. Charm lands onto Reventoad, but can they turn this around? Zigzal comes through, damages Nami extremely. Bernie Sanders bot though, he's in the back line, still alive, still doing the damage. Kit shot's gonna go down now. 2 for 0 in favor of TSA around this Dragon Pit, and they are gonna head over to that Baron.
Yeah, a really well-picked fight. Some members just walking too far forward, my wang, trying to look at the dragon, it appeared. Oh, and as they turn, they don't want Baron, they want this mid-tower maybe first, and then they could go back to it afterwards if they want to. Nope, they decided to continue pushing. 2 members down is sufficient for them, and ooh, Darth Evo, third health.
Yeah. Never move lands onto 2 members there, but they decide not to follow. Ooh, those bouncing bombs, man. Yeah.
50 health for Darth Evo, so dropping really low.
Okay, they just lose Inhibitor Tower, not Inhibitor yet, which is good news for QBC. After that dragon fight, around the dragon fight that they had, they walked it out towards Baron, and there's a ward from QBC. I wonder if they saw them walking towards Baron and then just decided to recall, and like, okay, they're gonna do Baron, we can't contest it. But instead, they actually just walk back towards mid lane and take 2 towers because they weren't set up for QBC. I wonder if that was actually planned or not. That's interesting.
And to flash out a Sword and Mace, he saw 3 members, and Slimbuzi went to heal himself. It looked like he thought it was the bubble. If it was a bubble, he likely would have died to it, as Darth Evo could have landed the charm. And he has the Morellonomicon, so healing cut in portion. But yeah, back to what you said about Baron. I think with the 3 members that they had up, they couldn't have really harassed well over the wall, but it was probably just preference. Do you want Inhib Tower, or do you want to try Baron? And they might have just gone with a safer play of taking the Inhib Tower.
Yeah. Yeah, because now QBC, they have to allocate someone to the mid lane to wave clear, and I guess they had to do that before, but they really can't leave it unattended for too long, otherwise they could make a break for it and pick up the Inhib for free. Gonna pick up the Drake, though, for free. Gonna be second Cloud.
And it looks like QBC is running over to this Baron as they just finished the Baron. Oh, they saw Renai circulation bottom lane. Darth Evo.
Yeah, Sword Mace. Zonia's once again dodging death over and over. Redemption comes through in the backline. It's gonna heal up Darth Evo, and Splinter, he gets taken out by Sasquatch. This is the fight QBC has been looking for the entire game, and Wang going maybe a little too deep, gets taken out by Bernie Sanders' bot. Bernie Sanders and Renai Circulation, they're still in the back. They're still doing the damage. Bouncy Bomb comes through, and it picks up for Sasquatch. So it's actually a 2 for 2. TSA, they're still in this. Yes, Gish shot goes down. Double kill for Renai Circulation, and the chase is on. I don't know if they're going to be able to get anyone there. They will not. But 3 for 2 at the end of the day. TSA in favor.
Yeah, I think this QBC squad, if they get a pick like that, they want to back off. They did get two... they almost killed Sword Mace before he Zonya'd. And then they did kill Master Splinter. But at that point, they must have thought, hey, they're dead. We can fight this. And then Ziggs shows up. So what was a 4v5 becomes a 3v5 or 3v4 because Darth Evo was so far back after dropping so low. And the Ziggs damage just comes through and annihilates a couple members of QBC.
Yeah, and maybe the lack of tank line. Yeah, they did. That's for sure. And it definitely seems like a sort of a split team fight there for QBC. But on that back half, they had the numbers advantage and they were pushing forward in that small jungle choke. And the Ziggs damage and obviously the Twitch damage just came through. You have to wonder if maybe the tank line was a little bit beefier on QBC. They might have been able to turn that around. But I think Wang and Kishot were, at least Wang was dead at that point. Kishot very low for himself as well.
Yeah, Wang tried to kill the Bernie Sanders bot and ultimately paid the price of his life for it. He got him close. He had about 200 health left. Another ability would have done it. He's just now started building tankier. So I think that defense is coming a little bit late. There's a lot of damage with Kishot, a lot of damage with Resquect, and a lot of damage with Darth Evo. So him going tankier, I think, stagnates the problems that we've seen with him dying. He's now 464. So he's died 2 more times since we last talked about it without getting an assist. And people have died on the side of TSA. It's not like no one's died and he's just suiciding. He's just not participating in the kills.
Oh, Wang goes in onto Repel. Might have been a little too deep. Chen teleport comes through, but it won't be enough shielding to survive as he gets locked up by 3 members of TSA, where Sasquatch has to use both summoners actually to get over the wall. That is huge. Main damage carry is summonerless now for the fight. Inhibitor goes down for TSA, and this seems to be a pretty easy Baron.
Yeah, no jungler, so
no jungler.
A quick take.
But yeah, Darth Evo, I think, and if you're QBC, you might have to try to face check this and prevent this from happening. Baron buff for TSA surely spells the end of the game.
Is it possible to toggle the timestamp on the spectator game, or is that not possible?
To see.
Not necessarily the timestamp, but the recording of objectives falling down.
Oh,
because so far,
yeah. Oh, wave comes through.
QBC has taken 1 tower, and every other objective has gone.
Oh, I know you're looking for like a timeline. Yeah, we'll see. We can see it after the match.
Okay.
But yeah, no, you're right. That's interesting. When that was the mid tower that they traded off that dragon.
Yeah, and now there's a huge wave crashing into that bottom lane tower. So there's just gonna be minions dying. Vayne backs to try and pick it up. But yeah, QBC so far, I think they're all thinking they're quarterbacks because they are diving very deep for every kill to try and go for a Hail Mary to pick the game back up. I mean, 1 team fight at this point does net them a huge amount of objectives because of how much is left up, but they are 7k behind.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's and I said this last game, when you're behind in League of Legends, there's not a lot you can do if you just play it normally. You really have to make high risk, high reward plays if you want to try to crawl back in, because League of Legends, once you're in lead, it's about just playing clean and not making mistakes. And TSA, so far this season, has shown very few mistakes, as evident by their match record with 4-0. And yeah, for Sasquatch, he did push out that bottom lane as Vayne. He got it back into a good spot where it's on its own, not pushed up against their tower, and they're baiting around Baron. TSA is.
Yep, they're setting up a lot of wards, clearing a lot of things, and Slimbuzi drops really low.
Solar Flare comes out, locks up Wang, and Kiss shot. Gonna get slowed. Yep, flash. Stun from Revan Code. He's got to pick up the jungler. Now Sword Mace, he flashes the wall, hits him with the slow, hits him with the never move. For Sasquatch, he's going to go down. 2 dead for QBC, and that might be the game, folks.
Is that game?
Oh, yeah, I can't see it any other way here. Redemption comes through to top everyone off, and yeah, it's going to be, I don't know. Yeah, there's no way you hold this off, honestly. You have supers pushing in from mid. They just have to play this one methodical.
Yeah, maybe they can clear enough waves, but that tower is going to take a lot of damage, and the Ziggs bomb already set up for it to drop, and there goes the first tower.
Yep, the wave comes through, Charm as well. Spirit Rush is activated. Darth Evo doing his best to play footsie and stay alive here and deal the damage. Nice circulation. He's on the backside, though.
Kiss shot.
Getting beat up by the Titanic Hydra. Shen, will it be enough? And he does! He actually picks up the kill on Renai. Sword Mace, he goes extremely low. Repel comes in from Wang, but he gets cocked! Turned around, Sword and Mace. And, one Nexus tower down for QBC now, where Sasquatch is back up. What can he do?
And all this time, Super Minions pushing into the base. Oh my god.
Oh, the shutdown coming in from Sasquatch. Revan Toad now, he's locked up. Double kill for him. And the dream stays alive for QBC. They take out 3 members of TSA.
But the tower drops. It is now an open tower. And Twitch, if he really wants to, can he go invisible in the base? Does he get revealed by... Is that True Sight?
I don't know how all that works nowadays, folks. I don't even... I'm still against calling pink wards control wards. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to get spotted if he goes near the empty inhibitors, right? Yeah, oh, you're talking about there's no Nexus towers. Yeah, there's no way. Unless they have a control ward to see him. Oh, wait, does that even work
No,
anymore?
control ward doesn't even show him.
Oh, see, there you go, guys. This is over. There's no way that they can win this with Twitch on the map. They have to stay... Are they going to do it, though? You think TSA is going to try to pull off that cheese?
I don't think so. I think
they're going to just play this one out, right?
Yeah, they're just going to grab Elder Dragon. They may grab Baron. They might not need Baron. And they're just going to call for the win after some of these objectives.
Yeah, Wang warding over the Baron pit, but that control ward blocks the vision, so no. Oh, no, he took it out. So they know they're not doing Baron for sure, but obviously they know they're doing Elder Dragon, and now that has been picked up for TSA. 37 minutes into the game, folks, and we have a 8K gold lead for TSA.
Yeah.
Pretty methodical closeout ensuing, I can imagine. Splinter's gonna back, though. Maybe he's looking for a big ticket item. No, it just gets a chain vest.
I don't know when it happened, but Sword Mace picked up a Magi's. He's 6'5".
Stacks.
Yeah.
What
he
the
must have
hell?
picked it up in like one of the previous team fights because I don't know how he'd be at 13 stacks being at 6, 5, and 5. He's died quite a bit, and that's pretty ballsy to say, you know what, I'm not going to die anymore, so I'm going to get a Magi's. Who needs a Spirit Visage on Swain when you're just going to murder everyone? Oh, yeah. But look, here's a trap set by Slim Boozy and Darth Evo up, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, they're now on the inhibitor with that Elder Drake. And they're pushed off.
But this front line by Kishot, he's very tanky. Ooh.
That repelled the Zenith Blade. That was so crucial. Nevermove's not going to land onto anyone, but Sasquatch, he's on the side. He's staying alive. The Nocturne ult is now down, but Sword Mace is going to pick up the first blood of the fight, and now Master Splinter is going to pick up one too. Double kill, never mind. Darth Evo not going to be enough here. And Wang, surprisingly, and maybe ironically, the last one alive.
Caught out.
Oh no, what a tragedy here for QBC as they go down to TSA, and TSA undefeated for the first half of the season here at 5-0.
The game ended without
a result. Okay, never mind. TSA, it remains 4-0.
And have a game 2 all over again.
Yeah, there's no way around this bug.
Yeah, there's no clear winner.
It says here without a result.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So we'll see you guys in about 12 seconds as we get back into game. No, I think it's pretty clear. I'll ask you, Commissioner, if that game actually had a result.
Yes.
Okay. I saw the defeat word come up from the screen. So really interesting team fight, team-oriented play. who do you want to get in here for the interview?
Okay, we're not talking to the Master Splinter ever again.
Well, Master
Honestly.
Splinter did like less damage than Bernie Sanders bot. He was fourth.
Okay, well then,
So
there you go. Let's I'll bring that up on the screen so people can see that. Yeah,
and
wow, wowzers.
Sword and Mace had a hard time top lane. Um,
I want to
Actually,
talk to Reventoad if
I
we
was just
can.
gonna say that
Yeah.
because he had very well placed alts and much of a very let's go forward and kill them attitude. So yeah, let's talk to him. He was a little less than 2k damage behind my Wang. So I'll let you
Wait,
pull him in here.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Yep.
yeah, and 3.5k behind his shot, who
Mhm.
built some damage items.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now, and yeah, I mean, he did earn more gold than 3 members of QBC, Shen, Elise, and Nami. But I mean, that's gonna happen when your team wins the game. There's not much to gain from that. But let's look at his ward game. That's something I want to know. Ward game. Nami, QBC. Who is that again? That is
Nami is Slim Boozy.
Slim Boozy. Yeah, he really showing up at the wards there.
Yes.
47 compared to the 30 from Reventoad. But a lot of the times when you're playing these supports that are going in for kills, you can't waste your time going around setting up wards eloquently. You just got to get in there and land the Zenith Blades because that's how your team wins. And let's see if I can get him up here.
Channel
Yo,
switched.
Reventoad. Hello. Anybody?
Yeah, he
Okay.
was here.
User left your channel.
Oh, okay.
Switch,
How's it going?
Oh, you joked me. Welcome to the swamp, Reventoad. Congrats on the win here. How are you feeling?
Thank you.
Well,
Not too bad.
well, that's good to hear.
Thank you much.
Failed Destiny. What do you got for him?
So that bottom lane was very interesting. Around I think it was like the 2 or 3 minute mark, you and Bernie Sanders bot dropped very low.
Oh, we were getting abused.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have families. I'm assuming you do. Did you just not have any regard for the bottom lane? Like, were trades just not going in your favor? What
Yeah,
was
we were
that bottom
just
lane
getting
like?
Outpoked. Nami's range. She kept healing him up. We were just the basic strategy was just to wait for Nocturne to get 6 and then start doing work from there. So we just hung back until he got 6 and then we did it.
Well, that's very commendable because you guys didn't actually die that much lane. So moving things forward a little bit, as the mid game started to happen, you took mostly every opportunity that came forward to you. Is that just because of Leona's innate tankiness, or did Splinter tell you, hey, if you see something, you take it and we'll murder them?
I just kind of did it on a whim. If I could see somebody caught out, I knew they would follow up on it. It's the same thing with the Alistar hook at several games ago, but that was on a whim, and then he just followed up on it and it resulted in an ace.
So
An
is that
easy
the
win.
mentality out of your team? Is that everyone relies on each other to make plays, and everyone's comfortable with following up if the opportunity presents itself?
Yeah, if the opportunity presents itself. Splinter does most of the shot calling still, though. But if you see an easy opportunity, why not take it?
Okay. 30, did you have any more questions? Otherwise, I have one more.
Yeah, I mean, well, is yours more big picture, like rest of the season?
It wasn't.
Okay,
But,
then
you can go ahead.
oh no, actually, you go first. I'll ask my last.
Okay.
Finish it, yeah.
At what point did you guys realize you won this game?
Probably when we got that mid inhibitor down is what I felt like. It was well
Mid
in our
inhibitor
favor.
tower or mid inhibitor?
Mid inhibitor tower. After
Yeah.
that, like they couldn't do anything to stop the Ziggs poke.
Yeah, excellent play. Awesome job. And yeah, 30, over to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, you guys 5-0 so far. This TSA lineup looking really good. Obviously undefeated. There have been some games where you've showed some slight weaknesses, but usually it's in the early game. And I said this during the game. It's you guys find a way to power through the laning phase, whatever struggles or whatever kind of cheese you have to take on. But once you guys hit the mid game, you guys look pretty much unstoppable. Your team fighting is impeccable. Your coordination and macro game is really on point, which I assume is just due to the sort of the concise shot calling you guys adhere to. If you had to pick one team in the league, who do you think would do the best job at trying to beat you?
Honestly, the team we played last game.
Which was
I don't remember.
Which I will look up right now.
Team.
It
They
was
were pretty good.
Kick-Ass King's Incredible Kool-Aid Stand. Yeah, they
were
picked up a
pretty
win
good.
today. Okay, interesting. I mean that's probably a good team to pick. Yeah, either that or Coffee House are the only ones that are sort of keeping up with the standings. Spot Agreed though, maybe looking for their third win of the game or win of the season today.
It's gonna happen.
It's
Predictions.
all right. Well, yeah, that's all I had. Once again, congrats on the win there for TSA, and stay tuned, folks. We'll have our third game with Coffee House going up against Pot of Greed. Stay tuned.